Do you want to have your own uniquely personalized titles for Final Cut Pro? That's titles that no one else has ever seen before. Your clients expect their videos to have titles that have not been seen elsewhere. This tutorial will show you how to create those personalized titles in Apple Motion and then allow you to modify them for your individual clients when you're in Final Cut Pro. My name's Bruce, and if we met before, welcome back. Otherwise, please like and subscribe so I can make more videos like this for you. As you'll be aware, the built-in titles in Final Cut Pro are hardly any different than the basic titles in iMovie. You'll have seen other people's videos and said to yourself, that's the XYZ title that's out of iMovie or Final Cut Pro. They'll be so recognizable. And even if you purchase title packages as plugins from other developers, you'll run the risk that that plugin's been used in someone else's video. But don't be fooled, unique titles are easy to create in Apple Motion and then to use in Final Cut Pro. They can be easily modified so that the same title can be used for different clients without them looking the same. I suggest that you make several different sets of titles in Apple Motion and then modify them in Final Cut Pro. But enough of talk, let's get into it. Open Motion and select the Final Cut title. Make sure you select the appropriate settings. For this tutorial I'll use Broadcast 1080 and a frame rate of 25 frames per second. 3 seconds is long enough for a title. By default, you'll see that a title background has been added. I won't be using it, but if you leave it as is, you'll still have a transparent background for the text to show through to your video clip. However, if you'd like to have the drop zone option, you can select that in the inspector under the Image tab. Highlight the drop zone, open the inspector and select the Image tab. Change type to drop zone. Tick the Use Display Aspect Ratio to fill the screen, otherwise your drop zone will be square. If you want to hide the drop zone from view while you're working on the title, untick the drop zone. Now for convenience, you can position the title to any location in the viewer, but as you'll see, you can still adjust the position when you get the title into Final Cut Pro anyway. You'll have the full functionality there. Select Type Title here and move the text in the screen. And the secret as to what you can change in Final Cut Pro is in the Motion Inspectors window when the Text tab is selected. As long as Editable in FCP is selected, everything showing under the Text tab is adjustable in the title when it's in Final Cut Pro. So to be clear, you don't have to publish anything under the Text tab in the inspector. But any other effects or options you add in Motion will require that option to be published. And that's done by clicking the chevron to the right of the option and selecting Publish. The text you type here will transfer to the Final Cut Pro title, so put something appropriate, and you can even add lines by pressing the return. I'll type "This is my text title," either directly in the viewer or in the inspector. And you can add it to the browser if you want as well. Now let's look at some behaviors that you can add to make your title unique. For this first one, let's use something simple so you can understand the principles. I'll use the Type On behavior. From the main menu under Behaviors, Text Animation, select Type On. Now play it in the timeline. You can change the speed that it appears on the screen by dragging in the timeline from the right, but I'll leave it at the full 3 seconds length. And for this exercise, I'll add several basic motion options that can be selected when you're in Final Cut Pro. And these will give you some idea of the possibilities. I'll add Fade In and Fade Out. Select from the Behaviors Basic Motion. You can change the Fade In and Fade Out under the Inspector under the Behaviors tab. I'll publish the Fade In and the Fade Out times so they can be adjusted in Final Cut Pro. And you should be aware that any setting that you set here in Motion will become the default setting when you open the title in Final Cut Pro. So if I move the fade out time here, that's what it will be set at in Final Cut Pro. And next, grow and shrink. I'll scale it to 30% and center the text by dragging it in the viewer, as well as publishing all the parameters. Now to save this for use in Final Cut Pro. But first, let's see what will be published and how it will appear in the Final Cut Pro inspector. Select Project at the top of the browser panel and Project tab in the inspector. You've got the option also of setting the default settings here, as well as changing the name of any of those published options. I'll change Fade In Time to just Fade In. I'll also position the grow and the scale to appear above the fades. Now select the File menu and Save. I'll call this Type On and save it in a new category, and I'll call that Unique Titles. And now to open it in Final Cut Pro and select those options. Now back in Motion, let's look at something else to make the text unique. You can put the text on a path by selecting the Layout method in the inspector and changing to Path. In the Path options, you can select Circle. Now change the radius and the path offset. To update the title for Final Cut Pro, all you now need to do is save. Now in Final Cut Pro, those path options have been added. If you didn't want to change the original, well then save as, give it a new name, and add it to the Unique Titles category. And then you'll have another title when you open Final Cut Pro. It's no doubt that Final Cut Pro and Apple Motion can do a lot, but you need to know how to use them. And I can help you make the most of your time and show you face to face how to quickly master these applications. If you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and press the bell so that you can be notified about the next Motion 5 video, which will cover how to modify text in Motion with behaviors.